What's up, Deuce Dynasty coaches? It's the Commsh, and welcome to the Commsh's Corner. Gonna just kind of go over some of the stuff in the Dynasty, and then I also posted that I was gonna go over some of the recruiting stuff for those that may need a little help figuring that out. So, um, believe me, I don't know everything about this game, but I do have some ideas on some things, and I learn stuff new every day. So, where's the energy, people? So, uh, really wanted to look at a few things going on in the dynasty. We'll look at some maybe some stats, some team stuff going on. I'm currently on a bye week. Yay! Love those bye weeks. I'm gonna really feel sorry for those that have three straight bye weeks because of us not being able to change the schedule. So bear with us, those that may get stuck with that because that's gonna stink. Uh, Unfortunately, watch it'll probably be Bill that'll have that happen to, and he's gonna go nuts. So, but anyway, so here we are. We're in week 6 of the dynasty, so it looked like things are rolling along pretty well. I know right now we're advancing a little faster than what we said, and so kind of the process behind that is Madden hasn't started up yet. We're kind of waiting on that, but guys are getting the games in quickly, and we're down to nothing left, and there's no sense in setting 2-3 days waiting for an advance. So here we are. So we're advancing faster. We've been averaging about 72-hour advances, and so we're just going to keep rolling with that until the OMFL gets started. If we continue to have guys at getting through games really quick, again, we may not sit there the entire time. Bill and I have been talking. Bill, since he's over the scheduling and stuff, so we may look at adjusting our advanced schedule. Especially again, like I said, we get into the OMFL season, and we have all games played, and we're looking at advance, and everybody's sitting at Friday afternoon, Saturday, no games to play. We may look at start advancing, but again, that'll all depend upon how things work out once everything gets going in grown folks. So we're all anticipating, waiting for Madden to start. I know today was cut down day in the NFL, so we're all anxious to get our teams to start building over there. Looking at, we'll just look at the, tell you what, let's look at the top 25 right now. Top 25, of course, we got Ohio State 5-0. Denver is just chugging right along. Then it looks like Texas got moved up to rank 2 from 3. So on the bye week, I get moved up. So I'm not gonna have any problems with that. Penn State moving up to 3. They had 2 first place votes. So Penn State's doing well with Penguins. Alabama, little Koch is 6-0. He's moved up from 7 to 4, so he's got that team rolling. Him and Pepper switched teams. Actually, I think there was like maybe kind of a coaching carousel with that team. But anyway, nonetheless, little Koch has Alabama rolling at a 6-0. Looking, he's going to be playing at Vanderbilt. Or he actually already did play. No, that's next week. Oklahoma staying where they are at 6. They are 6-0. We got kind of a log jam here. The top 10. Bronco Man, Kansas State 4-0. Had a great game against Oklahoma State in a 37-34 game. That was a good one to watch. Clemson sitting at number 8. He did fall to number 11. He fell to I can't remember exactly who. I think it's Pepper in Oregon that may have defeated Clemson. I could be wrong on that, but he's sitting right now at 5-1, so he's doing a good job there. Was able to actually move back up into the top 10. Florida State 4-1. Squeaks out a victory against SMU 28-20. That was a good game versus CPU. Thank you, Kevin. Yeah, I kind of thought it was Oregon, but I wasn't for sure. But man, Pepper's just a side note, man. Pepper's been really clicking with that Oregon team, so I don't know, man. You might have to watch out for Pepper. USC with Zoe. Zoe is doing a great job with USC. 35-20 win at Wisconsin. He's got Oregon coming up next. Kevin's all like the CPU is a cheese ball. I will admit the CPU will cheese. I've did some adjustments to the sliders for you guys. The CPU, I came down on a few things, and I bumped up run blocking a little bit, and tackling I came down like one notch or so. So we'll see if that makes any difference in the game. So I know there's been some voices out there, and it's not just been one, it's been several, talking about that there has been a little lack in Russian and stuff. And I will admit it's very hard, but it's always like, as a commish, you always want things to be a little bit harder and not make it too easy. But I know CPU is a pain in the butt. So hopefully, though, closer to the end of the month, we'll hear about something about maybe their update, that they're going to be coming along. And I pray that we do not have a situation where it says, oh, you're going to have to restart to get these. So, but give us the ability to change the schedule. And if that is the case, that will be the case. It will stink to the high heavens. But giving us the ability to actually customize schedules will go a long ways, I think, to helping the CPU dilemma. Utah is at number 11. This is Lost Sniper. Lost Sniper moved over from Oregon to Utah. He's done pretty well with the Utah Utes there. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate you. I'm sorry, Pepper. I'm sorry. I really am. I wish they weren't cheesing. But they are tough. And just think, we're on All-American. Can you imagine on the Heisman? If we'd have stayed on Heisman, oh, it would have been the lost city of the whatever. But anyway, the lost city of sliders. Missouri, number 12, that used to be a user team, but it's not anymore. Tennessee, 3-1 at number 13. Oregon fell because of the UCLA cheese, all the way down to 14. I am sorry, man. That's a tough tumble. But you'll get back. You'll get back. I have faith in you. Texas A&M took a loss to number 19 Arkansas. CPU is taking names and taking assassination attempts on these guys here in the top 10, and so Texas A&M falls to 15. Michigan State, he's kind of chugging along. He's figuring things out. He's played quite a few CPU games, I think, so he's 5-0. He's at rank number 16. Georgia fell all the way to 18 from 8. He's had a couple tough games, I think, and then also just with his job responsibilities and stuff, he hasn't been able to really get going. So, but he's definitely got a good team, and he'll have a good recruiting class. So if he's able to get involved like he can be, I think he'll be back up there. Miami, old timer, 4-1. He's at 20. Michigan, Nysonger at 21. Had a really good game against Minnesota, 35-23 victory. Florida, who's Florida? Oh, Big Hurt. Big Hurt has bounced around 600 times, and I forgot what team he was, but he is the Florida Gators, and he is at 22, and he is on a bye week as well. He's got UCF. That team is tough, by the way. CPU team, UCF is tough. So that'll be an interesting watch to see if that happens to derail the Gators. And bringing up the rear in the top 25, not pointing you out, Bill, or anything, but so he's 3-3 at Oklahoma State. The only other person that switched teams more than Big Hurt, Bill. So he's actually, Bill's probably actually been the king of switching teams in college football. So, but he's at 24. So that's the media. The coaches could be different. We're not going to go over both those, but we'll just kind of look at that. Backing out, we'll take a look at my whole thing was to talk about recruiting basically and give like some helps, but we're going to look at a few things while we have you here live on the Coach's Corner here. So we're looking at the top classes so far, and this will get you itching to say, well, how those guys get all those and how they doing this and that and stuff. So I'm going to try to coach you up a little bit. So Alabama has got 8 4-stars already committed. So Little Koch, you probably don't need this little tutorial. He's already raking in major recruits here. So Ohio State is at number 2 with 6 total, 4 4-star recruits, 1 5-star, and a 3-star. Oregon State has actually pulled in 7 3-star, which is very impressive for Oregon State. Texas, I've got 2 5-star, 1 4-star, and 2 3-stars. So at number 4, we'll just look at the top 10 here, I think, because it looks like that's where most of the users are. USC with 1 5-star recruit, 4 stars. You got 2 of those. So these guys are doing really well in recruiting. Auburn with Mo, he's got 4 4-stars. Kansas State, Bronco Man, he's got a 4-star and a couple 3-stars. The instant commits have just, you've got to, those are kind of luck of the draw. I've had, I think in the 3 restart dynasties that we did or whatever, I think I've had 1 in each one. But you look at, like, the thing is that you want to look at is the prospect. And so what I do, the very first thing is one, I'll either do when I'm setting up the 5-star deal, because I'll do that, and then I'll look at the who am I first on. These guys, when I first started recruiting them, I was first on their list. So they were the guys that I attacked for my 5-star and checked those guys out first before anything else. The one target I got left over, I'm 3rd on his list. I think I was 5 to start off with on his list, and I've moved up a little bit, but there's a couple guys in front of me, so I'm having to battle those guys for that one. But I always look at like where the interest is in my team, and then you look at your pipeline. Pipeline is definitely a big importance to maybe possibly nailing those commitments earlier. And as you can see, like, there's a lot of guys here on this list that are showing me first, and I don't even have offers out to them. So that's kind of crazy. And this is another thing too. Like, you need to go through weekly and look at the interest list, because it can change throughout the season. It depends upon like your winning percentage. Uh, Say for instance, like this guy, the wide receiver. If my team is racking up tons of receiving yards, yes, you got to nail them early. That's right. That's right, Nate. Um, if I'm racking up a lot of receiving yards, and one of his things that he uh, is interested in, like playing time or pro potential, uh, pro potential is really based upon like how much production your guys are getting on the field. So like all my receivers are getting a lot of production on the field, then this guy starts taking notice and like, oh, this guy, this coach throws the ball all over the field. So then that starts to have an effect on where they think you are at and how they view you and how they look at you. So that's kind of one of the things you have to look at when you're looking at your recruiting. So I'll just go ahead and I'll get into the recruiting fully, so that way I know, guys, I could go through a bunch of stuff and talk about the dynasty and all the different things we got going on, and I have total plans to do that. Start doing that. Start looking at highlighting teams, things that they've done. So you're going to actually see my recruiting list here. So you're going to see the guys. Okay, this guy right here, Alabama, in the last couple weeks has actually jumped up ahead of me. And this was the one guy, the 5-star that I was showing. I think at one point Alabama was like in the 5, I think. LSU, I think, on this guy was originally, I think, number 1, if I remember right. So, again, it's just kind of a revolving door. If you can get in that top 5, top 3, you still got a chance, but then you got to really start pulling out the stops if you're really behind in the influence that you're influencing that player. So, just to show you right here, we've talked about the hours that you get allotted 900 hours each week. It doesn't change. Now, sometimes if a player commits to another team, you'll get those points back so you can allot them out to other prospects. But this is a thing that I think a lot of you guys don't realize. Now, you can set it and forget it. But if you want to be a top recruiter, this is the meat and potatoes of the recruiting. Friends and family, that gets pegged every week. That happens for that player, and really, true, honestly, like in a lot of cases, you can set it and forget it. But if you, like I said, if you want to be a good recruiting coach, then these are the steps that you got to do. So you have the 40 points right there. All right. So here we are in week 6. I've set this and I have not touched it this whole entire season because, again, I was up, I think, 2nd or something like that. But now I'm starting to fall. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start removing the social media. Removing the DM player, removing the friends and family. Now I get all those points back. Now I can look at attacking this at a different angle. We know the overall playing time is a huge factor for this prospect. So playing factor is a huge deal of an importance to this recruit. So what you're going to do is you're going to go back into your recruiting. We could go ahead and we could select this. We could select send the house this time, but this is where you start getting to the point where you're falling behind. See where I'm number 3. You're falling behind, and again, this is not going to show like immediately. But when we advance, there's going to be a change that's going to influence this prospect towards your program. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at take out the hard sell or the sway. And again, over here it tells you what these things do and how it works for in your favor, or it could completely trash your opportunity to get this player. So, sway here, it shows if successful, this will add your chosen ideal pitch as the recruit's ideal pitch for your school only. Easier to sway when part of the proposed pitch matches the recruit's ideal pitch. So again, if we're gonna if we're gonna do this, as you can see over the side, the ones that are listed with the green check mark are the things that that you actually hit in what he's looking for. Now, we know that it says, and I think there's a little bit of a glitch still with this, but we know here it says the deal breaker is playing time, but over here in the scouting, for me, playing time is still a question mark, but I know that it is ideal for him, or at least that's what it's revealing to me in the overall deal breaker. But a lot of times with the playing time, the brand exposure, championship contender can also affect those things, and so it's showing that is actually part of his interest over here on the side. So it does interest him. So I have a plus in that. The championship contender, brand exposure, I have an A, and then I already know that playing time is very important to him. So you can look down at the pitch. It'll give you two things with these. So what you want to do is you want to try to match them up. Let's see. This is actually giving 3. So here we go. I have an action here of recruiting. The pitch is TV time. And so what that does is it also highlights playing time. It highlights championship contender and brand exposure. So all the things that are very important to him, I check out very highly on that. So this is what I'm going to use as my sway. So all of those will get hits. The pitch result right here, it shows pitch TV time. I got 4 up arrows. Now it's not going to give me exactly the full detail of influence that happened this week, but once we advance, then that will actually go up. Now on top of that, I could go back in because I still have hours to add. I could go ahead and DM him again to get more influence again, along with the TV time sway. So that will again give me more influence towards him. I can also go ahead and add the search social media. That gives me big presence in his influence for the following week. Now, Lil Koch is probably watching this and going like, "Oh gosh," so he's going to go in and do the same thing. That's fine. I really wasn't anticipating being able to get this guy. I'm super excited that I've got the other 2 5-stars that I did. But again, guys, this is kind of the way to get better at recruiting. This is very important. Like I said, you can set it and forget it. Say, for instance, you're going to be busy one week. You got your hours allotted for your guys. You can set it, forget it, and you'll still be very influential in that player's top 3 or top 5, or whenever we start, it's the top 9. But once you start getting down to the later part of the season, like we are, and we're starting to see guys their influence meter fill up, this is where you got to make the big pitch. You got to start really kind of working your recruitment, and this will be the difference between good owners and great owners or coaches or whatever in college football. So it does take some time away. But again, like I said, if we get guys going through this and actually doing this the way that the game is built, then this is where I felt like we should do the Sunday and Wednesday advance. So again, it's not all about just guys playing the games really quickly. And I know guys want to play real quickly, but if you want to do this like originally and have that time, we may have to do something like where you're pitching like I'm doing my recruiting so and so day or whatever in the scheduled chat, and kind of make it like that. But I know guys are playing really quick. Guys are still excited about the game. They're playing the games quickly. So again, like what I had said before, I think I was talking to Mo. It was just like, it was insane to think about setting and waiting for 24 to 48 hours for no games to be played before we advance. So, but now you understand the process of the recruiting and what all that goes in. Those 900 hours, you have access to mess with that every week the way you want to. And some of these, and I will point out too, because I know a bunch of guys just got off, so they're probably all going to do recruiting now. So, but the one thing to remember is also that's how you loosen up points when the guy gets ready to come for a visit. You can loosen up these points so you can bring the guy in for a visit if he's like close. If you need to maybe really finish out the process of making the pitch for him, go ahead and bring him in for the visit. But that's how you open up your points and your allotted time slot. Over on the side, the right-hand side, you see where it says 40 of 50. That'll open up all those point slots for you, so that way you can schedule a visit, or, again, like I said, or sway or make the hard sell for your recruit. Usually, until you get to a certain point in their influence, I think it's the... Nate, I'm not 100% sure. I think we still got another day for advance. No. You're right. I just remembered. Bill posted we're advancing tonight, tonight after those games that are played. So I think we still got a couple hours. But again, you have to get to a certain point of influence before these open up here. Unless you get to that point, then these will not be open. They'll be locked. And then this is where kind of like the first couple weeks, you probably don't mess with it a whole lot because you're going to want to continue to make the social media, the DM, or the friends and family type of contact to the player to continue to open up that influence rating. But once it gets to that certain point, and you start noticing that, oh, these are open, then you can start making progress and to say, okay, well, now I want to give a hard sell because now all the motivations over here are pretty much unlocked except for a couple. And so now I know kind of like what he's looking for. I can make the hard sell, or I can make the sway sell to him, or, the soft sell or whatever. It all depends on like where your recruit's at. Like this guy right here, basically, probably what I could do is I could take the points off, do the soft sell, and actually he would probably sign this next week once the advance happens. So again, that's kind of the rundown. I won't go much longer. I think we already been going like 38 minutes. I know it took me a while to get on here and stuff, but I wanted to help you guys understand recruiting a little bit more. I know it can be kind of daunting when you look at it, and I know it's like really engaging. And like I said, you can take it the way you want to. You can set it, forget it for a few weeks, but don't leave it that way, because if you do, you're probably going to miss out on a lot of guys that you could possibly influence later on in the recruiting process that could come to your team and help your team as you're building for the next season. So hope this helps you out, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Appreciate you. Thanks for playing here. Just a plug for the AllMFL. Get ready for Madden. Make sure to support Nate and the board over there. Start practicing those games and get ready for Madden to drop. But I appreciate you guys playing also on the Dynasty. I hope you're having fun. I know the CPU sucks so bad, and I really wish my full intentions were to have fully customizable schedules for you guys to play amongst each other and not have to worry about the CPU so much. But I did make adjustments to the sliders for the CPU, so hopefully it alleviates some things. And I did give some bumps to the run blocking, so hopefully that helps maybe spur a little bit more running ability. That way your quarterback's not getting killed every drop back. So let me know what you think, guys, playing the CPU, playing the games. Let me know if any feedback on that. See if it helped. If it didn't, we can always look to adjust a little bit more as we move along. But this season is chugging right along. The Dynasty is rolling, and I appreciate you guys playing and being here. And we'll be back the next time. All right. Hope this helped. Deuces.